if ever there was an England performance that makes you think, just go and do that again, keep it exactly the same, it's the win we just saw against Ireland at the weekend. Famous victory that defied the bookies, the pundits, and pretty much anyone, to be honest. Very few people saw that coming. And yeah, it was awesome. So you just think, keep it the same. Only Steve Borthwick cannot do that because there are 2 injuries, so he has to make at least 2 changes. So that's what this video is looking at. Who should be the replacements? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm Tim, this is Egg Chasers, and the most recent and most notable news on the personnel front is that winger Emmanuel Feyi-Waboso is out of the game. He has been withdrawn due to potential concussion, or I should say, he has withdrawn himself due to potential concussion. It was a self-diagnosis. What does he think he is, a doctor or something? Oh, that's right, he's training to be a doctor. Do you know what? Fair play. He got concussed a little earlier in the season for Exeter Chiefs. He said he felt groggy. If you're not 100%, not worth taking the risk. He's a young man with a big future, so he will have his chance again. And it presents an opportunity for someone else. I love the fact that there are some very, very hopeful Welsh fans joking that maybe this is the start of a 3-year stand-down period, after which Emmanuel Feyi-Waboso will play for them. Sorry to disappoint. I don't think that's going to happen. As for who should be wearing the 14 jersey, well, the obvious choice is Elliot Daly, you'd feel. He was the 23, wearing the 23 shirt at the weekend, so on the bench. Is he the next cab off the rank? He's never let England down. A wonderful player, has played many, many international games on the wing. I'd be perfectly happy with that. I get the sense, though, England fans don't want to see that. I don't understand the moaning that is now being directed at Elliot Daly and George Ford. It's almost like the moans that were directed at Owen Farrell have just been like, Owen Farrell's not there, so they've just been, let's move and point them at someone else. It's almost like that negativity's got to go somewhere, even after an amazing win against Ireland in which Elliot Daly played his part. George Ford and Elliot Daly are in the crosshairs. But there you go, that's the way it goes, I guess. I like Elliot Daly, for what it's worth. I'd be perfectly happy with him lining up again. But equally, I can see the merit in him staying in the 23 shirt. His versatility makes him such a useful player in that role. He probably wouldn't like to be thought of as a replacement, but it's a really valuable place to be, and a really important member of a squad, which, rugby is a 23-man game these days. So I'd be quite happy with Elliot Daly staying in the 23 shirt, and I'd also be very happy if Tom Robach would get his first start. I mean, for one thing, he is Scottish qualified, so much like Emmanuel Feyi-Waboso, you can stop that temptation from from being there on the table. And there's a few months till the summer tour when you think Tom Robach might get his first cap. Why not give it to him this weekend? At least put him on the bench, if nothing else, so you can get him a cap. But actually, very, very good player. Big, quick, good finisher, a brilliant kick chaser, and sticks his tongue out a lot in photos. It's surprising just how many, actually, when I was looking for a photo of him. A lot of tongue out action. There you go. You can look forward to that as well from Tom Robach. I'd be very happy with that selection. And the other man that's in the squad currently is Will Muir, another big guy, another guy that's been playing brilliantly in the Premiership, works really hard, finishes well. The horse, Will Muir, yeah, I could see that. Personally, I'd select Tom Robach ahead of Will Muir, and I would also I'd pick Tom Robach ahead of Will Muir, and I'd pick Elliot Daly ahead of Will Muir. Like him as a player, but I just think those other two are closer to elite. But hey, I'm hoping if he gets an opportunity, Will Muir proves me wrong there. There are some people saying, because they're so desperate for it not to be Elliot Daly, I've seen some people saying, move George Fairbank over to the wing and then you could pick Freddy Stewart as well. Well, George Fairbank has never played on the wing. He's played 10, if he's played 10 for England. He's never played on the wing. And also, why when you're going to make one change to a back line, why would you turn it into 2 changes? I would not do that. Freddy Stewart, I could see the logic in picking him on the wing. He's played international wing before. But again, I would pick Tom Robach and I'd pick Elliot Daly ahead of him in that position. The man that I would personally select, if it were up to me, and it's not going to be possible, unfortunately, but I would, nonetheless, if it were up to me and I could pick anyone, that's your man. Kaden Melley. That is your man. Been one of the best wingers in the Premiership for a couple of years now. And he ticks a lot of the same boxes that Emmanuel Feyi-Waboso ticks. Slightly smaller, just in stature, but I tell you what, he's tough. He is strong. He is powerful, explosive. And I think he could replicate the sort of job that Emmanuel Feyi-Waboso did so well at the weekend himself. And I think if Kaden Melley were French or Irish or Scottish, well, any other nation, to be honest, in the Northern Hemisphere, I think he would have had a cap ban out. I don't understand why he hasn't. I think the guy's great. He's not going to get that shot because he hasn't been picked in the squad, but there you go. That'd be my selection. And just while we're talking about personnel and changes, Chandler Cunningham South. I mean, the one thing you can say about Emmanuel Feyi-Waboso and Chandler Cunningham South, they are test match animals. Emmanuel Feyi-Waboso has hardly played any Premiership rugby and he looks to the manor born. Chandler Cunningham South at Harlequins wasn't a first choice player. He was on the bench for the most part this season. And it was the same at London Irish last year. He has not been a first choice in the Premiership. And he steps onto an international rugby field and he looks the absolute business. Big, big boy. So England have got to replace that physicality. And England are going to be up against a load of 150 kilogram men at the weekend against France. So the two obvious choices, you've got Alex Coles, who's in the squad. A lock, can play back row. It's in that way around. I don't think it will be him because you've got Itoje, Martin and Chesham likely to be in the starting lineup. So the smart money is it being just a simple get Ethan Roots back in. And you can't really argue with that. He got a man of the match on his debut against Italy. And you'd sort of think, well, he is next cab off the rank. I'm not completely convinced by him yet. But he is a big body. And I mean, that's what Chandler Cunningham South brought to the party. Although he just seems to be that little bit more athletic. So I'd be happy with either Coles or Roots. I would have been happy if Tom Pearson had been brought back into the squad and he was chucked on the bench as well. I think he's a wrecking ball of a player. But there you go. That's my thoughts on the England squad as it is. I haven't even touched on the fly half position. There's a lot of people thinking Marcus Smith should be in for George Ford. I could see it. Equally, I could see Steve Borthwick wanting to keep everything else other than the enforced changes, which I've just covered, completely the same. Because after all, they just beat a team which some people were saying was the best in the world. Or at least back to being right up there. So they've just beaten Ireland. Why would you change anything? Except for the ones you have to change. And in that case, tell me down below what you would do. And I'll see you on the next video.